Hello! Today we are going to tackle the last lab in the SSTI module or server-side template injection. We are going to utilize a custom exploit. This lab is different from the other six labs we have tackled in here. Um, this lab actually details which way you can exploit a web application if you don't have the template engine code or the already known template engine publicly available code. So in here we are required to actually exploit the web application utilizing the developer's custom code or custom objects. So the goal of the lab is to actually exploit the web application and delete the IDRSA file, which is the SSH file utilized for SSH public key authentication. So first things first, I started the web application. Here we are. Here we have a blog. A couple of blogs have been posted here. So here we have fake news, and here we have comments. Can we comment in here? Let me just say my first comment. So why I'm saying can we comment is I'm trying to comment without my user. Actually it allows us, but here we have anonymous. There's nothing else in this blog, so let us try to log in with Winner Computer. Now we have logged in. Now we have a lot of info here. We can change the email, we can change the preferred name that will appear in the blog post, and here we can change the avatar. So whenever you access in a web application, one key thing to check is user provided input on where it is reflected. So if you can manipulate data, and then when you manipulate that data, if you can see it in the web application again, try to actually exploit it and assess how the web application is interacting with your with the input you provided. So let us go back to the first blog and try to comment again here. My comment after authentication. Post this comment. Let me go back to the blog, and here it says Peter Winner. This is the full name of the user, and here is the comment that I provided, and here is the date. Okay, for me I'm here in Toronto, so my actual date is still April 6th, but since you know that Portswigger is a company that's located in the UK, they are already in April 7th. So let me go to my account, and here's the data that we can manipulate. So let me change the name to first name, and this functionality is similar to a lab we have tackled earlier in this module. So let me go back to home and check the first lab, the first block, and in here now it shows Peter. So now if we go to our proxy log, we can see the data manipulation that we have done. So if I just send this request to Repeater and check it. So how can we manipulate this data is we can change it. So here it's user.firstname, and if you go back and check another post in here. This is a post comment. We don't want that one. Here is when we logged in. I can do another change in here. Let me go back to the account and change it back from the preferred name to name, so that we can just see the properties that user object can access. So here you can see it's user.name, and in here it was user.firstname. So if I manipulated this data and just say like the name, close it, and just do this, and in here I'm just guessing that the closing tag is going to be 2 curly braces. Let's just do one thing and just send user object as it is and try to check the first block. And why we are checking the first block is that our user has already commented that block, and the web application will try to show the user's name. And in here we are getting an error. So here it shows the error PHP fatal error, uncaught error, and then it shows the templating engine in use. So now we know the templating engine in use, which is PHP Twig. So first things first, we know that PHP Twig uses 2 curly braces. So let me just close it, and then let me just add something like my name, Abbas, and then open new curly braces and just say user.name again, and send that. And let me check again. Now there is gone, because we provided the correct syntax. Here we see Peter Wiener, Abbas, and then Peter Wiener. So here we can see a place we can reflect our input. So that's one functionality, but beyond that we cannot do much. So one other thing is, let us try to, I know that PHP Twig uses a function called dump. So let us try and utilize that function and see how the web application will react. So let me just say dump, and then try to dump object user. Send this one. So one thing I would like to clarify is that this function only works if the web application is in the debug mode. So let us say if the web application developer or the application team screwed up and left the web application in the debug mode, then we would be so lucky, and we'll have a lot of opportunities to exploit the web application easier than in normal ways. So let me just let me duplicate this dump, because we cannot go back and forth. It's easier to have it here. So here it says unknown dump. From here we know, since the application has already thrown an error, we know that the PHP Twig is not in debug mode. So this is out of the way. Also, we can just use only dump to show all available objects that we can access. But since this function says like unknown, it seems that the web application is not in the debug mode. So still the error persists. So let us go to the second functionality. In here we can see that we can change our avatar. Where is our avatar? So let me just change this one to our user name. I just want to see the block so that we can see the avatar in use. That's why. And I don't know why it's taking this long. Wow. took 130 milliseconds. So like ages. So now we will see the output. What we would like to see is the avatar, our avatar, because that's the functionality we would like to check. So for our user, Peter Wiener is just using a normal avatar like any other user, anonymous, all like this is the default. So let us try to change it. So some of the things that you should check, like a normal user would just go and this again. A normal user would just go and choose a file. What if we don't choose any file and just say upload? What will application say? Wow, it says pp fatal error and code exception in file upload for, and now it's showing us the file that's handling it, where it is, where the error is, and on line 6. So we can get that request as well. Let's go to that one. Let me send it to reviewer so that we can manipulate it further. So here, if you send the post request as it is, we would see an error. The application will throw its exception handling error, stating where the error is. And I don't know why it's taking this long. Maybe it's the lab. So he says uncaught exception, and it shows us. So here we have file name. So here we see name. Here we have file name, which is empty, and here the content application shows us application octet stream. Here we have the user, which is Wiener. Here we have the CSRF token. So let me change here and change it to wiener.bpng. Though for any file name shouldn't be octet stream. So now we are getting another error, and the error changed from avatar to, let me just go back a bit. So our previous error was in avatar upload php, and now our new error is in user.php, which is a great thing. And here it is showing us how it's handled. So the file avatar.php is using I think this file has been included. So the object is accessing user set avatar function, and now it is giving it tmp winner. So the file you give it is going to be the temporary file in the temporary directory, and application /octet. So you might wonder where we have seen this. It is right here. That's what I'm guessing. So, and it is saying uploaded file MIME type is not an image. So if I have a wild guess, I will change this one to image and this one to png. So the content type is correct now. So if I send that, wow, so now it worked. So there's no error. So let me come back here and change the avatar. This wrong. And now I can see something else. So if I say load image or open image in a new tab, there's nothing here. But while we were in here, we got two important things. We got access to a function called useAvatar that takes a file and content application and the content type. Though this file doesn't exist, the function processes it correctly. Now we have two things. we have a place we can manipulate what data is displayed in the blog post comments, which will be executed, and a new function that we can access, a new method I mean, because this method we didn't know about, we just knew about the properties of user class, such as name, first name, last name, so we knew about them. Now we know about the method setAvatar. It takes a file and content type, and from it we know that this content type should only be image so that it works. So let us utilize this function. I just copied it because why? You might wonder why, and I didn't type it here. Because I used to be a developer and I know how things can get screwed just for typo. So two things we should access. So here should be let me just copy this one. I can write it because I wrote it down first time. So here we will try to read the contents of the file. Oh, I'm really sorry. The contents of the file that we are supposed to delete. So let me copy this file, place it here, send it. It was actually processed successfully. Let's come here to blog post. The image is still here. Can I open the image in new tab? I think I have. Oh, it's saying not found. And here it says not found. Let me try a very well-known file. etc/hosts. This file is in every Linux OS. So let me try this one. Okay, it still says not known. Let me close this one as well and try the image. Well, it downloaded it directly, but I didn't want it to be downloaded. I will delete it later on. Let me try and go to that file. Let me go to the proxy history, and here we can see the content of the file. So instead of the avatar, now we can read any file that we need or we want. So now I can see that we can read the contents of the etc/hosts. Let me try and read which other file we can read. .wd. Come here. Try to read. First let me go to the posts. And why would I go in there? It's just to once the comments are read, our function here, the change would be actually executed. So let me just send it again. Oh, now we can read. Can we the past wd file? We can read it. Let me try and see if we can read shadow. If you can read shadow file, it means that the user that's running the web application has root access or sudo access. So now let me go here, execute it, and come here and try to read pass. Oh, it says not found. Either the web application, it seems that the web application can read shadow file. It does not have the required privileges and permissions. So second thing that we should seek is, while I was in here, when we were getting errors early on, we got it from user.php file, and also avatar upload php file. So, and here it seems that they are read from home/Carlos. What if we go and try if the id RSA file is in home/Carlos? So let me go to the first tab. One good thing is to just put it here. Oh, let me just go back. Yeah, just put it here and see if it works. And to execute it and see it to be set as the avatar for the user winner, we just go to the post that user winner has commented on, so that this code is executed. So second thing is to check the avatar. So let me go and check the avatar, and here we see nothing to see here. The file actually doesn't contain no private key, so we actually need to move on. So what's the other file we should read that we have seen is avatar upload.php, this one. Actually, now we can read any file, or let us start with index.php. Why we are jumping to another file? And let me actually set the stamp on the avatar so that we can read it. Oh, there is no index.php? No way. So when we run here, which file are we accessing? Index.php. Oh, that file doesn't exist. So let me go back here and just type user, or what was the error? Avatar. Let me just read this file. Okay, send it and apply the changes and then read the avatar. So here it is requiring user.php. That was my guess actually, because it is using methods from here, and then here is an exception to check if there's an error, and then true is false, there is an exception, file is in tmp, just places the file that we are uploading to tmp, and then no file uploaded file, and then move uploaded file from file as avatar, which is in here, to temp name, to here, which is in temporary, and then it will show these two files. And here we have user, new user, post user, which is winner. Actually, this web application has a lot of things to test, because here it's not using a session, which means that we can manipulate another user's data. Let us focus on the goal of this web application. And then user is setting avatar here. So now we don't know what this method is doing. One good thing to do is check this file, and how we can do that is to place it in here and then apply the changes, read the avatar, and now we have access to user.php file. So here is the class, here are the properties: username, name, first name, nickname, user directory. Here we have its constructor, and user directory starts the users slash, and then it's appending the user's name. Okay, and then here's the avatar link. If file exists, mk there. Okay, and then that file has these permissions. Current make users file. Okay, the directory I mean, because it's creating a directory for every single user. And then here we have the set avatar method, and then we have the mime type, which is checking the image then this we have covered in a black box testing, because I got it from the errors, and then when we provide image, it's actually going through. And then here is link, avatar link, and here so if there was another avatar, I'll link it, and public function delete. So what is this one is doing? File this user delete. Okay, if this user, okay, couldn't write file. Okay, and here we have GDPR delete. So what is it doing? It's taking this /rm. So what is this rm is doing? Because I've seen it in many places. Let me check. So what it's doing is, so this method is private, which means we cannot access it from the object. So what it's doing is, if that file hasn't been unlinked, so in unlink PHP, it means deleting the file. So if that file actually not being deleted, is going to delete it actually. Okay, or if the file couldn't be so here what this if statement is doing is deleting any file that's been provided, and if that file couldn't be deleted, is going to throw an error. So the function GDPR is using rm method, which is private. So read link, and what it is reading actually, the avatar, the user's avatar, and then it's deleting it, and then delete is being called, which means this file will be given that to be deleted. So if we can access, so what I can understand from this code is that if we provide if we change the avatar to any file and then set GDPR delete here and then call it up, it's going to delete the file. That's what it's actually doing here. Because it goes to user there, contents are file. The file contents file, it's not false. Okay, but the rm file is already deleting it here. So what we are going to do, first things first, can we test it on the hostess file? Let us see if we can delete that file. What if the box crashes? So I'm going to focus on using the intended file only, because if the box crashes, here we have a warning that we have to wait for 20 minutes. And one thing I hate is for Portswigger's box to reload again because it takes long usually to reload, or that the session of that lab to end so that you can start a new one. So I'm not going to perform that. So I will go directly to the intended file. So one thing I will do is I'll change the avatar, use a winner, and apply changes. I'll try to read the contents of the file. Here it says nothing to see here. But one thing I forgot is to copy the method that we wanted to use. So can I get it here? Yeah. Actually it's here. So now we have avatar set to the file we are intended to delete, which contains nothing to see here. So we will go back, and so now this one is set. All we need to change is here. Yeah, entire thing from here to GDPR delete method. And now when we set it to this method and apply the changes, the file won't exist. Let us see if the avatar still contains nothing to see here. And it says not found. Let's go back, and here it says congratulations, which means that we have solved the lab as intended. Now we have solved the lab. Let's try and see if we can actually delete the hostess file. So actually I won't actually promote deleting hostess file because this is the file that contains the, and actually I don't think the user that's running the web application has the permissions and privileges required to delete that file, because we couldn't read shadow file etc/shadow. So let us try, although this is going to crash everything. Oh, it's saying not found, you have to log in. Why? Oh, yeah, it's not allowing us. Let's see, interpreter. Oh, account. Yeah, because the delete function that I forgot, because it was moving the entire user to disabled. So yeah, because delete was called and delete was moving the entire directory to abandon it to /disabled. So user's directory was added /disabled, and I think there is a functionality here that checks if it contains disabled. That's why. So the moment we deleted the avatar, the application interpreted this as a disabled user. So that's out of the way. We have solved the lab as intended, and we have completed the SSTI module. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.